For this problem, several triangles are drawn on grid paper. As you find the area of each of these triangles in this problem, think about the patterns you observe that will help you write a formula for finding the area of a triangle. Triangle is really just a rectangle cut in half. So if you find the area of the imaginary rectangle around the triangle, you can find the area of the triangle by dividing the area of the rectangle in half. The area is, before I give you the formula, if you don't know it already, let's look at problem A. There are 6 triangles, A through F, and they're drawn on centimeter grid paper. This unit of measure is a centimeter. For the purpose of distance learning, I'm going to give you the formula. When I was a little older than you, an area equals 1/2 the base times the height. Now remember 1/2 because it's half of the rectangle. The base is the length, and the height is the width of a rectangle. But for the purposes of a triangle, they call it the base and the height. But if we were to draw this rectangle, we can find the area of a rectangle, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 6 centimeters, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 centimeters. And if you were to find the area of a rectangle, area equals length times width, area equals 6 times 5, area equals 30. So let's test that theory of half of the area of a rectangle equals the area of its triangle. So we have area equals half of the base, which is 5, times 6. So area equals 1/2 of 30. Area equals half of 30 is 15 centimeters squared. 15 and 15. So that does work. The area equals 15 centimeters squared. We need to find the perimeter of this triangle. We already know that this is 6 centimeters, and we already know that this is 5 centimeters. The perimeter is really the measurement around the triangle. So it's 6 plus 5 plus, and we don't know what this is, but we can estimate. So this is about 1, that's about 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Maybe that's 6. I'm estimating it's 6. So this is about 6 centimeters. And I just counted it from each corner. Kind of off a little. That was a little longer. About 6 centimeters. So plus 6 centimeters equals, that's 12 plus 5, 17 centimeters. So I think that perimeter is about 17 centimeters. I estimated it. I don't have a centimeter ruler, but I do have a way to test it. I know that this is 6 centimeters. From here to here is, from here to here is 6 centimeters. And let's see, ooh, it's actually a little bigger than 6 centimeters. So I might be wrong, and it may be this entire thing, so maybe it's 8 centimeters, because that's 6 centimeters. And if I use that same distance to measure from the vertex to the other vertex, that's 6 centimeters. It's greater than 6 centimeters. So I'm going to change that and say it's 8 centimeters. This diagonal line, this side, is actually 8 centimeters. So 13 plus 6 is 19 centimeters. So this is about 19 centimeters. Okay, let's look at triangle B. And I wrote down the area of a triangle. That's a triangle. Now we're working with a second area formula, so I'm using the area triangle. I put a little triangle there to let us know that that's a triangle area. equals half of the base times height. And the perimeter of a triangle, again, it's a little triangle, equals side 1 plus side 2 plus side 3. Basically, we're just adding up all the sides. And again, I'm just giving you the formulas because we really can't have a conversation about what we think it is. So usually in the classroom, we're a little more creative with discovering how to calculate area of a triangle. We find half of the base and the height. We want to find the base, and the base should be where the triangle rests. And I'm going to rotate it like this because I want this to be the base, because that's where the triangle is resting. And then this is the height, because the base is below a vertex with a line drawn straight down to form a 90-degree angle. So these two lines are perpendicular lines, and this is a right angle. And I can check that because I get a perfect square, and there it is, a right angle. So I'm going to put a little red square to tell me that that's a right angle. Okay, I'm going to count how many centimeters the height and the base are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is 10 centimeters. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 centimeters. So to find the area of a triangle, it is area equals 1/2 of the base times the height. So area equals 1/2, the base is 7, and then times 10, because that's the height. Area equals half of 70. And if I were to divide 70 cents between another friend and myself, I get 35 centimeters squared. And that's the area. So area equals 35 centimeters squared. And if I were to double this, it would be the area of an entire rectangle. All right, now let's find the perimeter. So this is 10 and 7. I think, from my experience with this one, triangle A, I think that this diagonal line here is greater than 10. Because from triangle A, I thought it was 6, but it was actually 8 centimeters is. So I'm going to measure the distance between vertex to vertex. I'm going to color in 10 centimeters. So there's the top, that's 0, and that's 10 centimeters. And I know that the diagonal line is going to be larger or greater than, and it's actually there. I'm going to use this grid paper to find out how much it actually is. So there's 10, and we need this part. So I need to measure. So this is 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. About 12 and 1/3. So this is 12 and 1/3, because I'm using this grid paper to measure the line. So these are 1 centimeters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. And it's about here, maybe 12 and a half. About 12 and a half. So this is about 12 and a half centimeters. So perimeter equals 10 plus 7 plus about 12 and a half equals 19 and a half plus 10 is 29 and a half. So I'm going to say about 29 and a half centimeters. Triangle C. And I'm going to use this formula to find the area and the perimeter. The base is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 centimeters. And the height is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 centimeters. So I can use this formula to find the area. So area equals 1/2 of the base times the height. And area equals half of the base
and the height multiplied together. So our area is 1/2 times 24, and half of 24 equals 12 centimeters squared. Now I want to find what I think this is. It's always about 2 centimeters larger than the height, because this is 6, this is 8. This one was 10, and then this was about 12.5. So if this is 8, I think this is going to be 10. So I'm going to test that theory. Okay, so I'm going to get my trusty little graph paper here. I'm going to shade in what 8 centimeters looks like on paper. So all of this, here's 8 centimeters. Now I want to find out how much longer that is. Oh, not a lot longer. It's actually right here. From here, extra. I think that's only 1/2 centimeter. That's about 1/2 centimeter, a little more than 1/2 centimeter. Diagonal length is about 8.5 centimeters. So the perimeter is the sum of all sides. Perimeter equals 8.5 plus 8 plus 3. Perimeter equals, let's see, 8 plus 8 is 16.5. 16.5 plus 3 is 19.5. And I'm going to put about, because I didn't measure it, I estimated 19.5 centimeters. Here is our formula. All right, so this one is a little tricky. There's no 90-degree angle. There's no 90-degree angle, but I know that to find the height of this type of shape, I need to find 2 perpendicular lines. So I need to go from the base to the vertex, and this is the vertex opposite the base, and I just draw a straight line, and that's my height. So to find my height, I draw a straight line from the vertex that's opposite the base, and I'm going to use a dashed line, and I'm going to indicate a red square so that I know that's a right triangle. Now this is the height. So this is the height, and then this is the base. So I'm going to count the height. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 centimeters is the height. Now the base, you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 centimeters. So we have a height of 6 centimeters and a base of 9 centimeters. So I'm going to find my area. Area equals 1/2 of the base times height. Area equals 1/2 of 6 times 9. Area equals 1/2 of 54. Area equals, so 54 divided by 2, I'm going to have to need to do some paper or scratch paper here, show my work. 27 centimeters squared. Now the perimeter would be the sum of all sides. Now for this triangle, this height doesn't represent any side. It's just the height inside the triangle. So we have to find the length of this side and this side. I know that this is 9, so I'm going to go by 9 and find out how much longer these are and just estimate. From here to here is 9, and I wonder if this is greater or less than 9. So I'm going to measure it. Ooh, it's less than. So it's right here. So I have to find out what that distance is, and I'm going to go back here to find out where it is. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5 right here. So this is 6.5. About, because I'm using paper to help me determine the distance, and I'm using each of these centimeter squares to help me count how many centimeters are in this line, and there are about 6.5. I'm going to do the same thing for this line. I know that this pink area is 9 centimeters, and I'm going to measure about where it is. So it's a little less than 9.
It's about right here. So let me see if I can find out how many centimeters that is. So it's about 8.5 centimeters because it's just half the distance away from 9. So from here to here, it's 8.5 centimeters. So this is about 8.5 centimeters. So I would add this, this, and this to find my perimeter. Perimeter equals 8.5 plus 9 plus 6.5 equals, and I'm going to use my calculator. You guys can use your calculators too because we're just testing formulas. And it's about 24 centimeters. Let's do E and F. Here we have E, and I'm going to rotate it this way because I want this to be the base since it's not on a diagonal. And I'm going to remind myself, we're going to count how many centimeters this base is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm counting the centimeter inside the line. And that's a total of 6. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 centimeters. Now, because this triangle doesn't have a 90-degree angle on any of the vertices, I'm going to have to find the height. So here's the base, and here's the corresponding vertex. I need to draw a line from this vertex to the base. I would form perpendicular lines to find the height. Put a red dashed line to show that that's a perpendicular line. I'm going to create a red square because now that's a right triangle, and this is now my height. So now I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there are 7 centimeters in the height of this triangle. Now these two diagonals, I wonder if it's going to be greater or less than 7. So I'm going to take my paper again, and I'm going to color in what 7 centimeters looks like. And I wonder how much longer this diagonal line is. Right about here. And this one too. Right about there. So then that is about, here's 7, a little less than 8. So here's a total of 7. And we're adding this length there to that 7, that's about half. So each of these sides, in my opinion, are about 7.5 centimeters. In my opinion. To find the area, I need to multiply half of the height and the base and the height to find the area. So here is area equals 1/2 of the base times the height. Area equals 1/2 of 6 times 7. Area equals 1/2 of 42. And half of 42 equals 21 centimeters squared. And I'm going to add all of the sides to find the perimeter. So perimeter is about 2 times 7.5, because there are 2 of them, plus 6. 7.5 and 7.5 are 15 plus 6. Perimeter is about 21 centimeters. Now the letter F is this way, but the base, this is not a base. I'm going to have to rotate it so that the base is resting and not floating. So this is going to be my base. Base, and I have to find the height because there's no 90-degree angle here. So in order to find my 90-degree angle for height, I need to find the base and draw a line perpendicular to the vertex above. Height, and that means it is a right angle, and that can be my height. So let's count the height. How many centimeters? Here's 1 centimeter, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 centimeters in the height of this triangle. Now let's look at the base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 centimeters in the base of this triangle. Now I have to find the perimeter, I need to know the length of these 2 diagonal lines. So I'm going to take my trusty paper again and color in what 8 centimeters looks like. So I wonder if those 2 diagonal sides are greater or less than 8. So let's see. It's greater than. and it's about here. And they're equal, so it would be the same. So then when I go back to my 8 centimeters and I go to my grid paper, it's about half. That's about half right here. So it adds 8.5.
So let's calculate area. Area equals 1/2 of the base, 6 times 8. Area is half of 48. So then area equals 24 centimeters squared. And then perimeter would equal the sum of all sides. Perimeter equals 2 times 8.5 plus 6. Perimeter equals 17 plus 6. Perimeter equals 23 centimeters, about 23 centimeters.
And I did that by estimating the length of the diagonal sides and added that to the base.